Yes, please. Welcome to our case study. This is the case study for material management case. Material management case is what we have already discussed, solved it in the class. I'm just putting it here for those who are watching it later on for their practice. Just to show you, this is the material management case study. As you can see on your screen, in material management, what we are going to do is we have different processes which we need to complete. So as you can see here, we have step number 1. As you can see from here, from step number 1 until step number 21. This is a purchasing case study where we complete procurement to cash, or we purchasing until we pay cash to our supplier. This is procure to cash pay cycle. And in order to complete this case studies, we need to have certain databases or master data which we have to work with in order to complete this case. So we'll start with step number 1, which is to create a new vendor. Step number 2 is to create a material master for our trading goods and then extend that material master for trading goods. So how can we create a material? Right, we have certain transactions which you can follow up in order to create a material. As you can see here in this screen, we have a material master, how to create a vendor. Vendor is a supplier. How can we create a supplier in SAP? This is the menu path, or you can follow transactions, right? Either you go through this tree diagram, or you can go through transaction code, which we call it XK01. So I'm moving back to our SAP remote access screen, where you can access SAP remotely from your home. Once you have this screen, then you can access SAP. So what we will do is we'll run this transaction XK01. So we'll create our new vendor. How to create a new vendor, right? As you can see here, you have, if you follow the case studies, instructions are given there step by step. Okay, so now you need to enter this information, and I'm going to pause my voice and I'm going to complete this information. Right, I will use a one reference number here. Reference is means that you can create your vendor from some previously created vendor. I already created a one vendor, so I will use that vendor in order to complete my case. In case you don't have it, then it's okay. You need to leave this screen blank. If you don't have uh, the reference for this one, for your vendors, then you can create it from beginning only by following the instructions in the handouts, that how can we create, right? So this is what we are going to do now. So we're going to put all the information: vendor, company code, purchasing organization. In our case, we have uh, US00. So we'll put the same thing here, the information US00, purchasing organization US00, account group is this. These are the information. This one you need to leave it empty because system will give you the vendor ID for this supplier. So you have to leave it empty. And this information, if you know it, your reference vendor, you can put it. In case you don't know any previously created vendor, then you have to leave this one empty here, right? Now, why I'm putting this as a reference, because uh, the certain data will be copied from this vendor. Basically, this is the purpose. Data will be copied instead of myself typing. So I will get some, the data will be copied for this vendor 125059. So this is what we are going to do. So once you put this information as on my screen and press enter, and then you have to enter the data as shown in the handouts. And my voice will not be available now. I'll be just entering some data. Yes, for search term, you have to write your own three SAP user ID, like you whatever we have given you to access SAP. Like for semester 432, every student will have like this one JUC 432. So for example, my SAP ID is JUC 432-00. I'm just saying. So what I will do is I will only write the 3 digit of my SAP last ID. So this is what I'm doing it here. So what is the purpose? This one is to help us to search this number. This is the purpose. In case later on you have to search, this is how you can search it. So my voice again will not be available. After entering this data, just press enter, or on top there is a link for next screen. You can use this one, next screen. Always, whenever you see triple hash, remove them with your three SAP ID, SAP ID, your three SAP ID, always. Yes, this is the last step. When you see this message, you have to save this one, and then you'll get your vendor ID in the bottom left. Double click on that message, open it, and save that number. That will be your vendor ID. Save it and write it with you. So that's how you complete vendor. If you have a reference, or if you don't have a reference, you can also complete it. It's the same way. You have to enter the information as shown in case. So that's it. Step number one is finished.